So, Scream 7, I guess it had screenings in Los Angeles, but not outside of that. Maybe New York, definitely not nationwide. So there were no advanced screenings where I live, which is a huge red flag. And there I was, being a walking cliche, noticing the red flag, but still going, I'm gonna look past that, because this could still be fun. So Scream 7 is the 7th installment in the Scream franchise. The concluding chapter of the new Scream trilogy, wrapping up the arc of Melissa Barrera's character. Oh no, she was fired. Alright, so Neve Campbell returns as Sidney Prescott. This is unofficial Scream 5-ish, I guess. Ghostface killings start up again because Ghostface has returned. Someone else has donned the mask. Ghostface is now coming after Sidney Prescott's daughter. Here we go. The 7th installment in a franchise in which mileage may vary, but generally speaking, there hasn't been a bad installment of Scream. So I've said in the past being before today. From the get-go, I mean after the intro kill that is, I knew something was up. It does the whole boyfriend crawling through the window thing, a throwback, but this was nostalgia bait to the next level. The boyfriend starts spouting out what to them is stab dialogue, but to us it's Scream 1 dialogue. Even plays the same cover of Don't Fear the Reaper that plays in Scream 1. It felt like a Scream parody, almost like I was watching a stab movie, not a Scream movie. Maybe it's just this scene. We still looking past the red flags here? Thing is, the nostalgia bait never really stops. Now, this is written and directed by Kevin Williamson, who wrote Scream 1, 2, and 4, but Wes Craven directed those movies, so this movie is written and directed by the original writer of Scream. I can't help but see that it wasn't Wes Craven or Kevin Williamson that made magic there. It was Wes Craven and Kevin Williamson as a team that made the magic. And it's a real bummer because none of it feels original. I mean, it's the 7th installment. It probably won't. I mean, Neve Campbell coming back, that's kind of a lock. I love Neve Campbell, especially in Scream movies. She's an absolute Scream queen. The thing is, though, we've seen this kind of dynamic before. Not entirely, but this multi-generation element of Sidney Prescott and these new young high school Scream kids, it feels like Dime Store Scream 4 with less memorable characters. The biggest bummer is the girl who plays her daughter, Isabel May, was in 1883. And I thought she was great in 1883. But in this movie, she has no real development at all. Scream 7 has a choice. Character development or nostalgia bait. And it takes nostalgia bait every time. Flesh out the daughter's character, or you can have her find Sydney's old leather jacket from her college days from Scream 2 in the attic, and that'll kind of be a moment. It's ridiculous. It happens so much in this movie. And the whole thing revolves around the hypothesis, and this isn't a spoiler because it's dropped on you actually in the first line of the film. If you're listening to what the people are talking about as they're driving up to the house at the beginning of the movie, it's what they're talking about. Is Stu Macher alive? Could he possibly still be out there? Because not only is the movie leaning on Scream nostalgia and Scream references of the past, but it's also leaning on Matthew Lillard love nostalgia. If you look past that, if you look under the hood, there's nothing else keeping this film afloat. Really doesn't give Neve Campbell much to do either. I mean, she's in this movie because, well, she's the icon. But why is this happening again? The film, from the beginning to the end, never gives a good answer. Oh, that's right, because there was a trilogy planned, and then you fired your lead, and now you don't have a third film of this new trilogy, and the studio needs the third film of the new trilogy. So they brought Kevin Williamson in to make shit up. What we have is 90s horror schlock in all the bad ways. Scream 4 at least felt like we were back in the 90s slasher hug of Scream, but in a way that was like, hey, the band got back together. And the tropes of horror have changed, so you know there's something there. There's a hook for Scream. Scream 7 is definitely, hey, studio needs something, so it's... I was gonna say it's Kevin Williamson writing it. It feels more like AI wrote it and put Kevin Williamson's name on it. Mason Gooding and Jasmine Savoy Brown are in the film, and it was good to see them for sure. I never thought the characters from Scream 5 and 6 would be the ones to come into Scream 7 for me to be like, oh, thank God you're here. But after the movie, when you start unpacking it, again, you run into, yeah, but How and why are you here? Why do you have these jobs? Did you ever show an interest in being reporters? I expected Scream 7 to make me reflect on Scream 5 and 6 differently. Like, I'd look at them and be like, all right, so I can just ignore 5 and 6. We can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, because that story arc didn't really go anywhere or fizzled out. But it made me appreciate Scream 5 and 6 for feeling more inspired. The Ghostface killings were really savage. Melissa Barrera's character and what they were doing there was an interesting angle. And it made me reflect on Scream 3 differently and appreciate that more. Scream 3 was the bottom of the Scream films for me. Was. That would be past tense. Stay with me on this. Scream 3 also kind of felt like a stab movie, a Scream parody. But it feels designed to be that way. It leans into it. So because Scream 3 leans into that purposefully, you can have fun with Scream 3. Scream 7 is schlock, but accidentally so. And at least Scream 3 was attempting to wrap up a trilogy, wrap up the storyline. Scream 7 is here cause something had to happen, I guess. This is the epitome of movie that doesn't justify its own existence. There's no character development, no character attachment. They're all just flesh sacks waiting to get killed. In fact, it does Sidney Prescott a big injustice in the fact that she's not strapped 24/7. She has a gun in her car. She has a gun in her work office. She never conceal carries. Dude, Ghostface is in town. Get a permit. Get a gun. Carry it with you at all times. There's a scene where she does shoot at Ghostface and the bullets do anything and everything but hit Ghostface. And I was like, I mean, well, you do have to practice and go to the gun range once you have the firearm. You know. There were cool moments like, you know, the scene in the trailer where Ghostface is stabbing through the wall. But the moment leading up to that doesn't make sense because there's a panic room they go into to be safe from Ghostface. They're like, hey, let's get out of the panic room and go through the wall. It's all just action and reaction. It makes no sense whatsoever. This is the bottom tier Scream film. Absolutely my least favorite, without a doubt. That's improper wording. Allow me to rephrase, because least favorite doesn't quite cut it. Scream 7 is bad. Because every other Scream film, I can find enjoyment in it. It ranges from great to fun. But what did I say about Scream 3? Yeah, Scream 3 with alcohol. Sure. Makes sense. Alcohol is not going to help you with Scream 7. Unless you drink enough to forget the entire thing, in which don't do that. That's not healthy. I don't count this among the Scream films at all. We've had far better Ghostface killings, Ghostface intrigue, Ghostface reveals. The Ghostface reveal itself ranges from stupid to absolutely obvious. The Scream 6 Ghostface killer reveal I thought was meh. It holds Scream 6 as a whole back for me. Scream 7 is next level. It will infamously go down in history as the worst or most forgettable if fans choose to recognize it or this movie at all. Most horror franchises have that chapter that sticks out like a sore thumb, in which during your binge, skipping it ranges from preferred to required. Scream 7 is that. In any real way I could possibly explain, whether it be the fact that this movie feels like it was written either in a weekend or while they were filming, or whether it be the movie leaning so hard into nostalgia bait that it feels desperate, Scream 7 is the rise of Skywalker for Scream movies. I ignored the red flags because I thought this would be fun. Instead, I walk away with a couple of fun moments, but mostly regret. And it is dog shit. Granted, it probably hurts a bit more because I'm such a huge Scream fan. If you're like, yeah, Scream's fun and all, but I don't really care, sure, I'll watch it, you might hate it less. I use the term hate it less because, I mean, this isn't gonna be the one you love. If you've never loved a Scream film before, you're not gonna be like, you know, but that's Scream 7. That spoke to me. All right, so Scream 7, have you seen it? What did you think about it? Whatever you think, comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click right here to see more.